What if our reality isn't random? Really think about that. What if there's an invisible blueprint, a secret grid laid over the entire planet, one that holds the key to free energy, to anti-gravity, and maybe even to the nature of time itself? Well, one airline pilot was convinced he stumbled upon it, and his journey led him to this, just an extraordinary new vision of our world. This is the story of Bruce Cathie's The Bridge to Infinity.
And this single question from Bruce Cathie really sets the stage for everything we're about to explore. This isn't just some poetic thought. For Cathie, this was a technical question about the very structure of our universe, and he believed he had actually found the path.
So where does a path like that even begin? Well, it starts with the core concept of his entire life's work, a secret geometric grid that he believed is covering the entire globe.
Cathie proposed that our world is overlaid with this invisible energy grid, a lot like the one you see here that was theorized by Russian scientists. He was convinced this wasn't just some weird curiosity, it was a functioning system, a matrix of energy lines that could explain everything, from the flight paths of UFOs to the precise placement of ancient monuments.
Now the implication here is, it's just profound. For Cathie, this grid wasn't just a map. Now, it was the blueprint for a totally different kind of science, a physics where light, matter, and energy are all connected through these simple, elegant geometric harmonies. But how on earth does a commercial airline pilot arrive at such a radical, world-changing conclusion? Well, for Cathie, the journey didn't start in a lab or university. It began right there in the cockpit of his plane.
See, as a professional pilot, Cathie was trained to identify literally everything in the sky. But back in the 1960s, he started seeing objects that just defied all conventional explanation. And this wasn't some casual hobby for him. This was a professional's curiosity being pushed to its absolute limit.
This was the moment that changed everything. Flying over Kaipara Harbor, he didn't see a UFO, but a USO, an unidentified submerged object. It was this massive metallic craft, and it was clearly visible beneath the shallow water, in a place the Navy later confirmed was impossible for any conventional submarine to even be in.
So Cathie started meticulously plotting the flight paths of these strange objects, and he noticed they didn't move randomly. They followed these impossibly straight lines over huge distances. These track lines, just like the ones he'd later plot over ancient sites, like these Chinese pyramids, they became the very first threads of his world grid theory.
And this led him to a breakthrough. He discovered that the objects often moved or hovered at points that were spaced by intervals of 30 nautical miles. Now, 30 nautical miles isn't just some arbitrary number. 1 nautical mile is exactly 1 minute of arc of the Earth's circumference. He realized they were using a universal unit of measurement, one that's literally baked into the geometry of the planet itself.
This geometric key didn't just unlock the mystery of UFOs, though. Cathie believed it also revealed the true purpose of the most mysterious structures from our ancient past.
Okay, so on the left, you see the famous pyramid sites along the Nile. We all know those. But on the right, that's something a lot of people have never even seen. It's one of the giant pyramids in China's Shenxi province, estimated to be nearly 1,000 feet tall. That's almost twice the size of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Cathie saw this as proof of a forgotten global system, a network of massive structures all built for a single purpose. The official story is that pyramids are just big tombs. But Cathie pointed to evidence like this. A multi-million-dollar project to X-ray a pyramid had to be abandoned because some unknown force was just scrambling their state-of-the-art equipment. The head of the project actually said it defied all the known laws of science and electronics. For Cathie, this wasn't a curse, it was a sign of active ancient technology at work. So he came to the conclusion that pyramids weren't tombs at all. They were massive harmonic resonators, built with incredible precision and placed at key nodes on this world grid. And their purpose? To draw in, concentrate, and transmit the natural energy of the planet itself. They were, in essence, ancient power stations.
But look, if a global energy grid and ancient power stations are real, it begs a pretty dramatic question. Why isn't this the most famous discovery in human history? Well, Cathie had an answer for that too.
At the heart of all his work is what he called the harmonic unified theory. Think of it like this. If the universe is an instrument, then everything in it, from an atom to a galaxy, isn't a solid thing, but a musical note created by a resonating harmony of light. He argued the key to incredible technology wasn't brute force, it was just learning to play the right notes. And Cathie claimed that by rediscovering the math of this harmonic grid, modern science had secretly unlocked technologies that could literally change the world. Anti-gravity, limitless free energy, even space-time manipulation. He believed this knowledge was being actively suppressed by a small international group to maintain their power and control over global resources.
And get this, he argued this wasn't new technology, but rediscovered technology. He pointed to ancient texts, like this one from India, describing these advanced flying machines called Vimanas, which explicitly states that the construction details were withheld on purpose. The knowledge, he believed, has always been there.
And this is a perfect example of his method. Cathie applied his harmonic mathematics to everything he could get his hands on. Here, you're seeing a technical drawing of a famous UFO sighting by George Adamski. Cathie analyzed its dimensions and claimed they perfectly matched the core harmonic values of his unified equations. He saw it as proof that it was built using the very same physics he was uncovering.
And all this brings us to the final and maybe the most mind-bending part of his theory, the bridge that connects our physical world to the infinite.
For Cathie, the grid wasn't just a map of space. It was a map of space-time. He believed time wasn't just some river flowing in one direction. No, it's a geometric dimension that can be manipulated. If you understand the grid's harmonics, you don't just travel from point A to point B, you can actually alter your very position in the fabric of reality.
Ultimately, what this all leads to is a vision of a universe that is fundamentally ordered, mathematical, and harmonic. It's a reality where nothing is an accident. The placement of a pyramid, the flight path of a UFO, the very structure of an atom. In this view, they are all connected by a single, elegant, geometric system.
And that really just leaves us with a final thought. Whether you see Bruce Cathie as a visionary or a complete fantasist, his work forces us to ask a really compelling question. What if he was right? What if reality is a symphony, and we've only just begun to hear the music?